of the deepest questions you can possibly ask, a question that's right at the very heart of your everyday life. What is yourself?
I mean, really. In the middle of a crazy day, juggling all the things you have to do, have you ever just hit pause for a second and actually wondered about that voice inside your own head?
Who is the one that's experiencing all this? We use that little word I probably hundreds of times a day. I think this, I feel that. But what are we really pointing to when we say it? Let's take a closer look.
So we're going to start right there by digging into this huge assumption that we all just live with. The idea that there's a solid, unchanging me sitting in the driver's seat of our lives.
Just think about how we talk. We say, I am hungry, and we define ourselves by a passing feeling in our stomach. We say, I am successful, and we define ourselves by what we've achieved. We even say, I am, and then our name, defined ourselves by a label. But are those feelings, those labels, those moments, are they really who you are?
And this leads us to the heart of the matter. Is this feeling of self a rock-solid fact? Or could it be the most convincing, most elaborate story your mind has ever told you?
Okay, so let's put on our science hats for a minute. Because if this I is a real, permanent thing, then it's got to have some kind of stable foundation, right? Well, when we look at ourselves, our bodies, our minds, we find something completely different.
This is pretty wild. Just consider your own body. Science tells us that in roughly 7 to 10 years, you are made of almost entirely new atoms. Practically every cell has been swapped out. So if the very physical stuff you call you is constantly being rebuilt, where exactly is this permanent I supposed to live?
And it's not just our bodies. Think about what's going on upstairs. Your memories, which we think of as the core of our identity, they're not perfect recordings. Nope. They fade, they get distorted, they change. And your emotions, they're basically just chemical weather patterns, storms and sunshine that come and go.
So let's just pause here for a second. If you strip away all the things that are constantly in flux, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, what's actually left? What's the one constant thing that we keep calling I?
Well, this is where ancient wisdom offers a totally different way of looking at it. Instead of trying to find what is left, some philosophies ask us to notice the space where all of this is happening. Let's check out an ancient Japanese idea that completely flips this question on its head.
The concept is called mushin. You might see it translated as no mind or zero mind. Now, that doesn't mean having an empty head or not thinking, not at all. It points to something deeper, a state of pure awareness, that open presence that's there before the mind starts sticking labels and identities onto everything.
Here's a great way to think about it. The mirror analogy. Imagine that your true nature is a mirror. The mirror itself, that's your pure consciousness. It's clear, it's empty, and it never changes. And then you have the reflections. All your experiences, joy, sadness, success, failure, they're just reflections passing across the mirror surface. That's the content of your mind, what we usually call the ego.
The big aha moment here is realizing that we spend our whole lives identifying with the constantly changing reflections. But our true nature, it's the steady, silent mirror that's just witnessing it all. You're not the experience. You are the space in which the experience is happening.
So, what on earth does some ancient philosophy have to do with your life today? How is this actually useful? Well, this very perspective is the foundation for a really powerful modern way of thinking.
Because when you finally realize that I isn't some fixed, rigid statue, but a flexible, flowing process, that's the secret to real growth. As soon as you stop defending some static idea of who you are, you suddenly open yourself up to learning and adapting in ways you never thought possible.
You basically become like water. Think about it. Water has no fixed shape, it just adapts to whatever container it's in. By letting go of that rigid self-concept, that story of I'm this kind of person, you can adapt to any challenge. It makes you incredibly resilient and, yeah, pretty much unstoppable.
And this state of being, adaptable, resilient, and always open to growth, this is what we can call an evergreen mind. It's a mind that isn't defined by its past, but is always, always renewing itself in the here and now.
So, as we wrap this up, just let this idea sink in. So much of our daily stress comes from trying to protect and polish this fixed version of ourselves. But you're not a statue. You're not a finished product. You are a river, a process. You are a continuous unfolding flow of potential, changing and evolving with every single moment that passes. So I'll just leave you with this thought. We started out asking who the I is, but maybe, just maybe, the better question isn't who you are, but who you're becoming. So, who are you right now, today? The answer to that is always up to you.